Let's move on. On Monday, Judge Caroline Wall allowed a lawsuit seeking reparations for 3 survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre to proceed, denying a motion to dismiss the case. The lawsuit was filed last year and also seeks reparations for descendants of victims of the massacre, where a white mob attacked Tulsa's Greenwood district known as Black Wall Street. An estimated 300 Black people were killed and more than 1,200 homes were destroyed, leaving hundreds homeless. Will the outcome of this case be a strong indicator of a push for all Black Americans to receive reparations here, or will they say this is different? Ed?
I mean, there's differences. The Tulsa massacre was a very specific few days of bloodshed, and I think what you can infer from that is that there was a full community buy-in by the white populations around Tulsa, and how they moved to exterminate the black people in the city. I'm anxious to see how the case unfolds. I'm anxious to see how the rulings come from it, but from that, I think you can start to make some broader generalizations, but interesting to see.
Yeah, Derek?
I think Ed makes a good point. So is this a precursor of things to come? That's entirely possible, because if the ruling does come down, then of course that becomes precedent, and other cases are decided based on precedent. So I don't know that we can say it isn't a precursor of future conversations and see where things go. The point Ed makes about this referencing a specific handful of days in history versus 140, 50, 60, 80 years of history is where the devil in these details comes out. They know the names of the survivors to whom reparation pay is proposed being made, as well as the names of their descendants and where all those people are. Trying to figure that out for everyone in the country who may be the descendant of slaves is a different deal. And we've talked about that in the past.
Just because it's harder doesn't mean it shouldn't happen.
That's not what you asked.
No, I was commenting on you saying trying to find the names of the descendants of people from slavery is a hard thing to do. And I'm just saying, just because it's harder doesn't mean it shouldn't be done. It's
harder to the point of impossibility, in my opinion. But we talked about that on another show. We can talk about it again right now. I just don't think that there's any way to actually do it. The question whether or not it should be done is a different question.
Alicia?
Yeah, I'm glad that they're giving families maybe getting something for Tulsa. When I thought about that, to me, it looked like what Russia did to Ukraine, the way that they bombed those families in Tulsa. And I've said this before, I feel like any Black person who lived through Jim Crow deserves reparations. We don't need to go all the way as far back as slavery, but it's time and it's long overdue. And I hope they get it. Other groups have gotten it. And it's long overdue. That was a massacre right here in America, done by its own government, and it should have happened already.
Dominique?
And it may have just been a few days in Tulsa, but these type of attacks happened all over the country. White mobs burning down and destroying not only those 1,200 Black homes, Black-owned homes, but also hundreds of businesses. Those folks not only rendered homeless, but they weren't renters. They owned that property. They never got their homes, their land, their
business.
business.
Let's take a quick break and come right back. Sorry, Dom.